Today, I'm going to be ranking every single BFDI host there is, from the worst host to the best host. And there will be some hosts that you are definitely not expecting. Coming in at number 14, the bugs in BFDIA. These bugs were terrible hosts to the contestants. You could barely even understand what they were trying to say, so much so that they had to use a whole straw as a translator. They were also way too strict with the BFDIA 14 elimination when FreeSmart had to run away from Pin, and the bugs didn't like that she violated cake and stick etiquette, so they straight up murdered Pencil with their bug venom, which is just a terrible thing to do to a contestant that you're supposed to be a host to. So that's why the bugs were the absolute worst BFDI host. But what about number 13? Flower Speaker Box. Flower Speaker Box was a host in the later episodes of BFDI Season 1, and she was kind of annoying, but at times was pretty funny. But on the other hand, she can be very biased towards Flower. For example, when she made the contest based on what Flower wanted to do, and then immediately gave her immunity, which is just really unfair and isn't something a host would do at all. So for those reasons, that's why Flower Speaker Box is second to last on this list. Up next at the number 12 spot, which is one you were 100% not expecting at all. Snowball and BFDI Mini. Snowball is an okay host, but low-key carried by 4 in all the BFDI Mini seasons. Along with the fact that Snowball's a contestant, so him being host is just simply feels wrong. Not saying he's a super bad host or anything, but I just can't put him higher on this list due to those reasons. Now at number 11, it's going to TV. There have been some rumors going around that TV might have rigged some votes, but we're just going to look past that. Most of the time, TV is a boring and sometimes mid host. This is because TV made us sit through so many bad kick at stake songs until only recently when he's finally starting to up his game with his songwriting ability. To be fair, the contestants were kind of cruel to TV and BFDIA, but that doesn't matter because when TV announced things as hosts, it was just boring text. So that's why TV is at the number 11 spot. Up next at the number 10 spot, it's gotta be the Puffball Speaker Box in BFDIA. Puffball Speaker Box had 2 chances to host and she fumbled both of them, which is not at all a very good look. Another reason she's a bit lower down on this ranking is that she does have that contestant bias again. She just wasn't around for too long and didn't do anything too crazy when she was the host also, resulting in her being number 10 on this list. And for number 9, it's going to Flower and BFDIA. As you can probably tell, there have been way too many hosts in BFDIA, but at least it's sort of refreshing. But anyway, Flower was okay as the host, she just did not feel like a host. She felt more like a challenge tool more than anything. But doesn't matter anyway because she died after like 1 episode. Mid-host. But when you think about it, Flower basically has played every role in BFDI, being the first eliminated, then a rejoiner, then a BFDI host, then back to being a contestant in BFB, and ending up as the winner of it all. Kinda crazy. But when she was in her host role, she was okay at it. Moving on to number 8's gotta go to Fiery Speaker Box. Dude was a pretty chill host and has a very sad life, honestly. Imagine being built to host for only like 2 episodes in BFDI Season 1, then get a second chance in BFDIA 5 through 7, then in BFDIA 8 just being forgotten about until BFB 8 where he's used as the prize, and he was in Broken Parts, which means he had to be murdered alive. What an unfortunate life. When Fiery Speaker Box was host, he was pretty fair to all the contestants, except Fiery when he gave him immunity for being the most beautiful or something, which is biased, but at least Fiery Speaker Box is a pretty chill host, which I can respect. Up next at number 7, we have Purple Face. Now, Purple Face is just Purple Face. Like, look at him. He helped the contestants in their time of need, like Lollipop in BFB 24 when he wrote that banger song. He also sacrificed himself to help Leafy without his permission, but he still helped. And that's what matters in the end, right? Purple Face is a good host, but now we have an interesting one at number 6, Donut. Donut was the host of BFB episodes 6 through 8 until X took over in BFB 9. Donut being the host was a really cool idea while 4 and X were just dead for a bit, but Donut had to have gone through something, man, because he goes from straight up loving his job as the host to being totally burnt out and basically depressed because of hosting. Donut's temper rose and he would snap at contestants randomly. Besides that, Donut was a decently good host in pre-split BFB. I feel like he could have gone a little bit longer, but whatever. Coming in at number 5, it's the LOLers in BFDIA 14 and 15. These guys have been so much fun to watch since we get to see what the BFB and TPOT characters were like back in BFDIA, which is insane and such a clever idea to implement the failed BFDIA joiners into being a part of BFDIA in one way or another. And the way that they just swap out who speaks every so often is a very cool gimmick. There were the 5 BFDIA eliminated contestant islands, and they only have this tiny little window to communicate. Just look at how Dora uses this to her advantage. Although, Match was biased to FreeSmart in BFDIA 14, which does mark off some points for the LOLers. Looking past that, the LOLers should remain the host for BFDIA until the finale. They are great. Now it's time for the first Algebraian on this list. X. X is a good co-host in every way possible, like in BFB whenever 4 needs advice or help. For example, eliminating the contestants and much more. X pretty much always has a solution, except for recovering. Even when X got burned alive, he didn't hold any grudges. X is an absolute legend and definitely deserves the number 4 spot, although Twitter is better. Now we're entering the top 3, and coming in at number 3, 2. 2 is a very cool host, but that right there might be where the problem lies. To be honest, 2 is a bit oblivious to what the contestants are actually doing during the challenges. Like, 2 just sits on a couch during those challenges, not even paying attention to what's going on. Maybe TPOT is just a side hustle for 2, so they don't even care about it that much and just sit on a couch. And also, isn't TPOT supposed to be a fair game? Why did Clock get to stay around while everyone else had to disappear? It's plot armor, not gonna lie. But still, while still a good host, for those reasons, 2 gets third. At the second place spot, 4. 4 gets locked in whenever he's presented with doing something that involves competition, except when bro just stares into our souls. But he's probably just thinking of a really good challenge idea. Right, guys? Yeah. In fact, 4 wants people to be eliminated. For example, when he was chasing Loser and Spongy around in BFB 16. 4 was the opposite of bias because he just, like, zapped everyone. Not to mention that 4 actually finished the season, which is kind of rare in BFDI. So 4 takes the cake on second place, but now it's time for number 1. The number 1 host in all of BFDI. At number 1, the announcer. The announcer is the OG. He's funny, he has no bias whatsoever, maybe except for Teardrop, but anyway, he was literally built for hosting. He still cared about the show even after it wrapped up, leading to him hosting the final 3 episodes of BFB. Announcers should just lock in and make season 6 already. So there you have it. That's my ranking on every BFDI host we've ever had. If you guys like this video, then make sure to subscribe and watch the video on your screen.